A user by the name of Nami asked this question. Jxon, could you expand on your idea of meditation? Could you show those of us that haven't started on meditation how we can start to have a mind like yours? First of all, thank you. It's flattering. I appreciate each and every one of your comments and questions. I used to have a solid idea, understanding of meditation, and my idea and understanding of meditation has evolved immensely over the past 3 to 4 years. It's no longer sitting still, being calm. It's no longer laying there quiet or propping myself up with my back aligned. It's none of that anymore. Although I do that once in a while, right before sleep when I'm relaxed. My idea of meditation can be simplified to this. Contrast the yin and the yang. And you know how I love to approach all things in life from the yin and the yang's perspective. So our physical plane perspective, our outer selves, our egoic self operates on faster frequencies, faster vibrations. The inner self operates on slower vibrations, slower frequencies. So meditation, spirituality, the invisible plane is all about slowing yourself down. Okay? I don't mean to slow yourself down completely all the time, every day of your life, every second of your life. No. What I mean is to have that as a part of your tool belt so that you can operate fast and slow, or both simultaneously when the condition calls for it, right? Most of us understand how to operate on the egoic level, on the surface level. We do it all the time. It's quite common in certain societies. And within certain societies, you have a specific subgroup that just love to operate on slower frequencies, perhaps all the time. I love the balance of the yin and yang so much that it's hard for me to discriminate either. Therefore, I don't discriminate either. Most of the time, I don't. All right? But I like for you to understand the idea of patience. That when you develop and exercise and practice the idea of patience, you virtually are meditating. And a lot of us believe we have the patience. But I could present a couple of scenarios so that you can understand whether or not you are patient. If you're a patient, try this. Try doing everything that you've been taught backwards. See how patient it is you are. Write backwards. Write left-handed. Walk backwards. Walk incredibly slow. Walk barefooted. Do things that would provoke people to think, that provoke the idea of embarrassment and ridicule to help you further understand yourself. Do things that are completely out of your comfort zone. Go out there and try all the things that you've been fearing. Pick up all the sports that you've been fearing. Fearing is actually also a non-meditative practice because you're living more the egoic plane. You're fearing death. You're fearing the idea of failing. Those are fast wave frequencies, and our egoic mind processes those. Okay? Eliminating those fears would render you more meditative, connects you with your inner self. And I'll tell you this much. I've tried every single thing imaginable. I know I don't fear as much as I used to, and part of my development is to understand more of the fearful plane, the egoic plane. And so when I am further connected to my inner self, understanding more of my inner self by developing patience in all the things I do, practicing exercises of contrast helps me further expand on my own personal patience. It gives me a new position. It elevates my own understanding of the self so I could attack the egoic life, the physical plane, from a more foundational perspective, with a stronger foundation and core understanding of the self. You see, life alternates in that manner. So when you further reflect on your inner self, you're using all of those energy to expand on your outer self, your egoic self. And further understanding your egoic self, you've expanded on your idea of accomplishing You've been proved in all of those practices that you've been engaged in, whether it's sports, writing, your sense of creativity on the outer self. It makes you, it pushes you to further understand your inner self. So the idea of alternating energy is perpetuated in that sense. It's very perpetual. It's very timeless. Okay? And you'll start to understand why philosophers of the past have always said, look to the night and days, the alternating night and days, for the answer in all things. It's as simple as that. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about that, you know? So that's my understanding of meditation, is to slow yourself down. And if you want to push yourself in that sense to become more creative on the outside, on the egoic self, on the outer plane, the faster frequencies and those vibrations, look to the opposite side for the answers, which is the slower self, the inner self, the egoic self, the slower vibrations and frequencies. Okay? So I hope that helps you in devising, creating your own methods of meditation. Follow your inner self. When you've slowed down enough, you'll understand what it means to be Zenful. You'll understand what it takes to develop your own methods of meditation in all things. Okay? So, again, I like to say this. Follow others to an extent, but follow mainly yourself, because that's where all the empowerment is at. Okay? Thank you for listening, and I hope that helps.